Here we go, guys. So we need to talk about this Return of Heroes lock-in. This Return of Heroes mural lock-in. If you don't know what it is, they've been releasing hero cards over the last few weeks throughout this season. As you can see, we are up to date on them. There's 3 left to go that are going to be out in the next week or 2. And then this set will be completed. But there is a glaring problem that we've got with this lock-in, guys. And it just has to be said that this is probably going to be an L. I'm not certain, but I'm going to run you through my thought process. Hopefully it's, stops you making a mistake. I'm going to make that mistake regardless, but I'll tell you why. There's a reason I'm going to make that mistake regardless. So here's a problem we've got. Looking at this, the lock-in says mystery. Now you can see on the cards that are missing, that we know are players, it says mystery player. But almost everyone is exclusively saying that this is going to be a player. It doesn't say it's going to be a player, guys. Now, there is one other option, I think, where this could be a player, which I'll chat about in a second. But let's say it is, because that's the conversation that's going on. To me, there was like one card that made sense to be the lock-in for this. And that card was Invincible Luca. Invincible Luca's already out. That's done. That's a write-off. That would have been the most hyped card for such a big set to lock in at the end. And it's already off the table because he's already out and he's worth like 3-4 million MT. So that's done. Now, when you look at the cost of this set, 1.5 to 2 million MT, that's the cost we're looking at. The problem we've got, guys, is I can't think of anything else that will justify that spend. Like, nothing. I'm going to run you through all the options and the things people are talking about, but I cannot think of anything that's actually able to justify this lock-in. Invincible Luca was it. Now, there are a couple of examples I'll give you that will be close to being the value, maybe even slightly better, and maybe even lift the value of these cards, but it's going to take 2K to do something really special to get to a point where this could ever be worth it. So, one of my guesses at the moment is Invincible Balboa, if it's a card. He's always been a reward card at this point in the year. Last year he was a lock-in around this time. The year before he was in the token market around this time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Invincible Ball pop up. But I'll be really honest with you guys. That's not going to get me excited. Because the other Ball is fine. It's not a huge difference. Like, one of the ironies of this is I prefer, well, not prefer. I don't really feel any difference using the hero versions of the cards instead of the Invincibles. Like, I use Hero Steph, that's my point guard. I don't think it would change my life if I switched to the Invincible. So getting a slightly better version of a card that already exists, that's come out recently, is just not going to get me hyped and not going to make this worth it. So I can't think of a card that's like in the game that if it got an upgrade would make this worth it, apart from potentially one. There is one, which is this guy right here. So the best version of Michael Jordan in the game right now is still his out-of-position point guard version because he's just better at point guard. Like, the out-of-position point guard version, to me, is still better than the Invincible version because he can run point guard. And last year, we got 5 cards at the end of the year that were GOAT cards. We got 5 cards that were GOAT cards, and Jordan was one of them. There is a possibility that the lock-in for this, and probably the only thing left that would really justify this, and would be a huge step up, I think, is a point guard GOAT MJ. So that is a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised to see a GOAT card involved in this. But, again, guys, it says mystery. It says mystery. It doesn't say mystery player. If it was GOAT Jordan, it would say mystery player. I just don't see how it is going to be that card, right? So let's talk about the other potentials. Now, there is a possibility that 2K go into their, mad laboratory and create a card that none of us saw coming. Maybe we see a point guard Giannis with cracked 6. Maybe that's what happens. They've done it before. Certainly at this time of the year, they've created cards that none of us saw coming. Like, we've seen shooting guard Porzingis in the past. Like, they can create anything they want to. So they could go out and just literally create a card that none of us have thought of, that none of us saw coming. That could be that reward. But again, guys, I don't think it's a player. That's the problem. Like, it says mystery. It would say mystery player. Now, there is an outcome that could be horrendous, guys. Now, I'll take you back to 250k last year. You remember 2K hyped it up? We've got a huge announcement. Do you remember what those lock-ins were? Do you remember what set it was? It was Age of Heroes. And the lock-ins were Galaxy Opal coaches. So it would make sense for the Return of Heroes lock-in to be a Dark Matter coach. And I'm terrified that that's what the outcome's going to be. Honestly, guys, I'm genuinely frightened that this is the most likely outcome right now. Like, I've got Lenny Wilkins. I do not need a +2 in anything. We've got invincible cards. Like, even last year when they released those coaches, it was already too late in the year. It was already way too late in the year to have those coaches. Like, they make sense at the start of the game. That's when coaches like that would make sense. But if we end up with a Dark Matter coach, this might be the worst lock-in we've ever seen. And I am concerned, just with the parallels of last year, the fact that it was a coach lock-in last time we had Heroes, the fact that it's Return of Heroes and there's another lock-in, and the fact that it doesn't say Mystery Player, suggests to me that the most likely outcome might be a Dark Matter coach. I really think that, like, if I had to put money on it today, I think that's what we're going to get. Which is going to completely obliterate the value of these cards. I don't think anyone's going to lock in for it. I mean, let's just let's look at these cards, right? Let's look at Kobe and what a Dark Matter coach would do for him. Look at his stats. I mean, with Lenny, he's already boosted, you know, +8 on a bunch of these. What is it going to do for him? It's going to do nothing, guys. Like, at this point in the game, a Dark Matter coach is not going to change a card. Like I said, I don't even really care for the Invincible cards. I'm happy using these versions. I don't think it changes the amount of games I win or lose. It does nothing. I mean, the SIGs and animations are all the same. It's extra badges that aren't worth an extra 2 million MT. They're just not. So I think that's the most unlikely outcome. We've got another issue as well, which, you know, I thought maybe we'll see something creative, because they have been creative, right, with certain things. Like, I thought maybe we'll see, like, something similar to this. You know, maybe we'll get... I've got shot past it. Maybe we'll get off badges. You know, maybe something like that. That'll make this worth it. And again, at this point in the game, does it? Does it make it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. Again, like, I've got a bunch of Hoff badges just sitting there. I can't really think of what to do with them. It's just cheaper to buy cards with Hoff badges at the moment because, you know, they don't add that much value anymore. And I also think that something like this won't happen because I don't think they can outdo the collector level reward. They've obviously made an effort to make this significant this year. You know, they've updated Peyton and, you know, they've put an Invincible card. Like, the first Invincible card available was in the collection this year. So even though he's not amazing anymore, he was at the time he came out. I don't see a scenario here where we get something like this. I think this is going to be specifically for this, and they're going to go in a completely different direction, because otherwise they'll piss everyone off who got the collection reward. Like, the whole idea of collecting cards at this point would die if they did something like that. But people have said, you know, that is a possibility. I don't think so. So what is the best case scenario now? The best case scenario is, like I said, we get a card like Jordan. We get a card, like I said, like a glitched point guard, like maybe point guard Yao or something like that, that can move and, you know, has cracked SIGs. Or the only other option is it's a pack of players. Either a pack of players or a pack containing players and other things. That's the only other scenario where I see mystery making a sense over mystery player. It's the only other scenario. Maybe we do get, I don't know, all 5 GOAT cards or something. That's obviously very unlikely to happen, but it's an example. We could get a bunch of cards. We could get a pack. Similar to like a Moments pack, right? Where you get like 5 free Dark Matters. It could be that. That makes sense. Again, that it wouldn't say mystery player. I've never seen it say mystery players. So again, it would just make sense saying mystery. But guys, the possibility, the odds of this being worth it is on the floor. It's really unlikely. There's obvious choices for cards. There's Magic Johnson Invincible. There's Larry Bird's Invincible. There's Bill Russell's Invincible. None of these cards are worth it. None of them are worth this. Invincible Yao, I still don't think it's worth it. Like I said, for the upgrade. Invincible Bol, I still don't think it's worth it for the upgrade. I wouldn't lock in any of those cards. Right, so here's the question then. So why am I doing it? I haven't locked in a set since Thon Maker in 2K20. Because I locked in for Thon and he got outdated immediately and I learnt my lesson. But I'm using a lot of these cards. The way I play now, I have fun with the game, right? You've seen my videos recently. I run weird lineups. I run a different lineup pretty much every game. And just having these cards is just a great selection to pick from when you're running random squads. So I'm not losing anything by having these cards. So for me, making content and things like that, it's good to have these cards. I'd probably sell a couple of them, like maybe I'd get rid of POW, but most of them I've used to some extent. Probably POW and KG are the two that I don't use, but the rest I will use to some extent. So that's fine for me. Like, from a having fun perspective, it's good to have these cards. And, you know, we'll get the other three just to see what the lock-in is. And we'll sell people off if we need to. But for me, like, there's additional reasons to have these cards. But for most of you, there probably isn't. I don't see the outcome that can't be disappointing. I can't see it. I don't know what it is. Like, the fact that I can't think of it is a problem. I'm quite a creative guy and I cannot think of it. Now, maybe I'm missing something really obvious. Maybe one of you guys has clocked onto something really obvious. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what it is. Give me all the potential ideas that you've had, the concepts, the things that have been thrown around that could make this worth it. But mystery, I don't know, guys. I'm right now very concerned that this is a Dark Matter coach, which is going to be completely redundant in the game. That's where I am. But the problem that we have is, even hypothetically, I can't think of anything that would be worth it. That's where we are. So that's the video, guys. Let me know if you're collecting these cards. Let me know what your thoughts are on what you think this lock-in might be. Yeah, I don't know. It's a really tricky one. It's the first time I've ever looked at a set and gone, there's no scenario where this could be worth it. But we're going to do it anyway. And I'm sure a bunch of you guys are as well. Let me know your thoughts below. Until next time, thanks for watching.